And now it's time for Church Chat.
Greetings, friends. It's a joy to welcome you to another edition of our Church Chat. I'm joined today by Lori Robertson, and we're going to update you on a couple of exciting things that are happening here at St. John's. To begin with, I wanted to talk about an email message that you would have received from me if you're on our email distribution list earlier this week regarding the fact that a statement has come out from the Ontario House of Bishops and been affirmed by our own College of Bishops in the Diocese of Toronto, which says that despite the government declarations about the opening of places of worship, Anglican parishes in this diocese and indeed across the province will not be opening for gathered worship until September at the earliest. You can find links to those statements on the website toronto.anglican.ca of our diocese, and they go into a little bit more detail about how these decisions were undertaken and why. Being in this space that we've, I think, grown used to in some ways, but in some ways still feels totally alien and strange, we are continuing apace with our worship and our ministry and our learning and our fellowship as much as we can in the virtual space. And in fact, I'm excited to announce that we will be expanding our offerings for summer learning and fellowship with a wonderful and very exciting new Bible study series that will be beginning in mid-July, led and facilitated by Lori Robertson, and I'm going to help out from time to time. Lori, I feel so good about the work that we're doing in the Christian education space. We've had just a wonderful study on David Bentley Hart's book, The History of Christianity, which we've been at for several months now. There's a lot of, it's not a particularly long book, but it's full of stuff, and we've had wonderful conversations there. But you and I both thought that having a Bible study course that would break the mold of a typical Bible study, I think, would be a good idea to get us all a little more comfortable with the biblical narrative, but to do so in a way that I think is engaging and perhaps even fun. So I wonder if you want to talk about that wonderful resource that you've found.
Yes, so some of you might have heard me speak about something called the Wayfinding Bible. It's put out by Zondervan, and it's a new living translation, which is a really comfortable and pleasant translation to read in modern language. And it's a beautifully illustrated Bible with helps and all kinds of interesting side notes and so on. And within the setting of the Bible, they've produced three, actually, if you want to read the whole Bible, or three shorter, what they call routes through the Bible chronologically. And so the one we're going to do is published by Zondervan. It's there's a little guide that goes along with that. It gives you a reading a day for 8 weeks. And we have to have 8 sessions on Zoom to discuss it. What are the readings this week? And the guide lays out the plan of salvation at every stage. So in session 1, when we're talking about the early days of the history of the world, the Wayfinding Bible shows us where Jesus Christ is in this plan, and also a timeline of the events of history around that period of the history. And as I say, beautifully illustrated and really an enjoyable arc to cover the whole of the Bible from Genesis to Revelation in chronological and in detail, and not too much detail, but it will be fun to do those readings and fun to talk about them and see what new things come up. And the Wayfinding Bible isn't actually published any longer. I have several copies. You might find copies in bookstores. And so at the end or during the sessions, if somebody would like to see a copy and have one for themselves, we might be able to arrange that. So at the end of the video here today, my contact information will be on the screen. So get a pencil and be prepared to get in touch with me if you have questions or wish to register. We'll be coming back back to you shortly with an email with full details. There's a 1-minute YouTube video that you could check out. There's a web page and so on. So we'll be sending some promotional materials around. Feel free to invite your friends, as many people as wish to join in. This will be fun. It'll be good for beginners, intermediates, and advanced students of the Bible and of the Lord. It'll be good for everybody. Hope to see you there.
If you ever feel like you have had those questions where you go, now, what is the Bible? What is sort of Old Testament, New Testament? What are the differences? Who are the prophets? What about that king's stuff? And anyway, if you have questions about the Bible, this is a wonderful place to have some of those questions asked and answered. I think all of us, depending on our, irrespective of our level of sort of biblical proficiency or literacy, would benefit from this kind of approach. So please do join us, and we'll look forward to seeing you in that space.
Yeah.
Well, my friends, God bless you, and thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Church Chat. We'll see you again in this space very soon. Bye-bye.